Hello and welcome to NewFilmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo and we're here at the South Park Center. I'm here with Miranda Kahn with her movie Shadow of Life. Let's take a look at the clip.
In school, every day it seemed like someone was saying something about my skin color. I remember touching a boy's hand and he was like, "Don't touch me with that black hand." I was just diving into depression, and at that young age, I did not understand what that was. I don't think we understand how we really affect people, and especially something that represents how I appear in the world.
Miranda, thank you so much for being here today. I'm grateful that you shared your film with us, and it was very, very moving and a wonderful experience to watch it. But for those that haven't seen it, tell us a brief synopsis.
It is about a young woman named Shayna Lynn Simmons, and she grew up in New Orleans, and it's about her experiences with growing up with colorism and discrimination against her skin color and how it affected her mental health. And caused anxiety and depression, and how she dealt with that, and how she learned to sort of work with it and learn to live with it in a positive way.
Yeah, I mean, I think from the first moment that you start watch this documentary, you're actually astounded by her beauty.
Yeah.
And just how beautiful, you could just feel her soul. She's really a beautiful person, and so. It's really, really hurtful to think how much she suffered, going through her own personal experiences and just how horribly sad that was. Before we even get into that, where did the inspiration come for you in making this project? How did you both find each other to do this?
Well, I know Shayna. We went to graduate school together, and I've just always admired her. I've seen her one-woman show, which she talks about some of the issues that are in the documentary. It's called Bayou Blues, and she's just such a captivating person. And so when we discussed that she had struggled with mental illness issues, I immediately really wanted to talk to her more about it. And when I got the opportunity, to make this film, I got the grant to make this film from Glassbreaker Films.
Wow.
I immediately thought of Shayna. And I did there was a moment where I was like, oh, as like a white woman, as a white person, is this my film to make?
Yeah.
But I felt like having the opportunity to have this grant and to make something that people could see and could get the message out, I felt like it was, I should use my privilege to help Shayna tell her story.
Yeah. And what was her reaction in terms of like, I want to make this story about you?
Let me think. I'm trying to remember. I can't really remember, but I feel like she was like, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, the wonderful thing is you touched upon her story in it was such a powerful way. I feel very close up in the sense you just almost really felt her pain, and then you mix this with your great skills of animation as well.
Yeah.
Was that something that you're always expected to do on this project? Because it was very nice. It was wonderful to see and experience as she was journeying through. And
yeah. So I myself have dealt with depression and anxiety my whole life, so it is really personal, the topics, and I started doing shadow puppetry maybe 5 or 6 years ago, but I'd always done a lot of paper. Like first I started making pop-up cards, and then I started making paper art, like silhouette paper art, and then I started making paper puppetry, and then I started doing shadow puppetry, and I wanted to integrate that with my artwork or surrounding mental illness, and it just felt like it really, because it's beautiful, but it's also sort of mysterious.
Yeah, so mysterious, but
and which I think mental illness is mysterious as well. It's sort of like hard to put your finger on, and sort of the act of like cutting things sort of is therapeutic for me.
Yeah.
And it just all came together so that I felt like this is a good match. I really want to put these two things together.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it was very hard to watch in the most, you know, it was wonderful to watch at the same time and very inspiring to watch. How is it for you as a filmmaker, you know, because I don't know, I'm sure it doesn't get any easier as especially a documentary filmmaker to be capturing someone's pain and being so vulnerable about what she went through. How was that for you as a filmmaker, particularly when you've gone through your own experiences as well? How was that?
Yeah, I mean, in the interview itself, I was like trying not to cry because she was so vulnerable. And then working with it is very dark, and the act of doing stop motion is like you're in a dark, and I was in a like dark closet, pushing the little paper pieces around. So it was an intense process, both in topic and in act. But I also find Shayna to be she's so positive. Even with all of the difficulty that she's gone through, she's so strong and so beautiful and so with such centeredness that I felt like that really made a huge difference for me. Like, as opposed to it just being about the darkness, it was about her moving through it.
Well, that was what was so beautiful, is that just the way that it evolved from, you know, where it began and where the hurt and the pain started, and where she is now, where she sees herself now, and where we always hoped we should eventually end up, and how beautiful that was, that she moved from a very dark place, you know, and then it just, fell for the beauty of her skin and everything, and that was such a wondrous journey to see. And you did that through the stop motion as well, which is wonderful. Was that nice? Did you kind of feel like so wonderful to kind of see that there is hopefully resolution between going through your own depression and anxiety and all those things?
It was really like her strength and commitment to healthy ways of dealing with her mental illness was really super inspiring and hopeful for me. I don't think we even got to fit it into the documentary, but she got her degree in theater therapy and theater, I think that's the name. Yeah. And she's a yoga instructor, and so just all the like proactive steps you can take to find sort of peace, because it's always going to be there. Like she says, she still deals with issues surrounding racism to this day, and sadly. But I feel like she's such a positive, inspiring person in the way that she takes it on in a strong but like loving to herself in a way that
I think what your film does, you know, anyone that's been through, knows someone who's gone through any form of depression or anxiety, or feeling mentally just unwell, about things that they shouldn't be about, should watch your film, because honestly, it's such an inspiration. It really is, and also I think it's just also good to shed a light on what some people are going through and how awful that they go through something like that as well. And I think that, did you want that for your audience, to kind of almost that for not only them to be education, but also to kind of hopefully show resolution and to just kind of bring more awareness to what happens, because we don't hear someone really talking about stuff like that in such depth, and it's, you know, it's very powerful.
Yeah, I mean, I forget who it was, but I think it was like one of my parents' friends saw it and they were like, I didn't even know what colorism was. And I was like, yeah, it's an issue that so many people deal with every day.
Yeah.
And as white people, we're like in it.
Yeah.
We're responsible. We have to share responsibility.
Yeah.
And I feel like colorism kind of is based on racism. And in this country, it's such an important issue to tackle head on, because it's obviously right now it's exploding.
Yeah, and we really should be in a better space of just appreciating all the beautiful colors of people and outlooks and cultures and everything, and we got to get better at that. And honestly, I think by making documentaries and bringing awareness and making movies, this is, you know, hopefully with that we can only get better as humans as well.
Yeah.
What was it like putting that in front of New Filmmakers LA, in front of an audience? What was that experience like?
Oh,
for
it was
you?
so fun to
Yeah.
see it on the big screen and to hear people like saying things that I could like hear murmurs afterward, like people. So it's just great to get it to a bigger audience, and to be with other such inspiring films. It was really a wonderful experience.
And was it great to bring Shayna there as well to kind of
Oh,
experience
yeah.
it? Yeah, and it was great to see her on stage yesterday as well.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that was, you don't often get that in documentary form, where you actually, the person even wants to be kind of there, you know, when they've
Yeah.
just been surrounded. So that was a great credit to her as well, and great credit for you to shine light on something that, you know, you've been through and extending light onto her experience as well. What's next for you?
So I would love to continue the series and make
Yes.
another, the next episodes. I want to make 5 episodes. So I have people lined up. I just have to get the funding lined up.
Oh, okay. Well, to that camera right there, I'll bring you more funding. Yes, please do that. No, I love that you're making these films about very important subjects that we need to shed light on, and I thank you for that. For you as a filmmaker in your career thus far, what have you kind of learned, or what do you go by as a filmmaker, and what maybe you could kind of give advice to any other filmmakers out there as well?
I think finding something that you're really passionate about. I know one of the filmmakers said that she didn't like the film that she made. I thought that was so interesting.
Wasn't that great?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in my experience, instead of doing what you think other people might like you to do, to find something that you're really personally connected to and passionate about.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've found that that's been where I've had the most meaty experiences with making films.
Well, I think that's why you had such a great film, because quite clearly you could feel your passion in the project, and it really showed in the work. So
Thank you.
that goes to say. So listen, thank you so much, Miranda. Honestly, I think your film I think so many people should go and see it. I think anyone that's suffering with colorism should see it as an inspiration that, you know, they should not be held back at all. And Shayna's a great storyteller, and so thank you for her for sharing her story. But thank you, Miranda, for putting the project up in the first place. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Miranda, everybody. Miranda Kahn.